Westmoreland Community Connections is a presentation of the Westmoreland Drug and Alcohol Commission.
Welcome to Westmoreland Community Connections, a look at issues and happenings on Classic Hits 107.1 WHJB. Here now is your host, Chad Amond, President and CEO of the Westmoreland County Chamber of Commerce.
Hello and welcome to Westmoreland Community Connections. I'm your host, President and CEO of the Westmoreland County Chamber of Commerce, Chad Amond. I am delighted today to have on the show three gentlemen, two from the board of directors at Youngwood Recreation, and Jimmy Santorella. Jimmy is on WHJB all the time, broadcasting sports events. But we're talking about baseball today. So, guys, this is my love, and I suspect it is your love as well. Jason Anderson is one of the board members at Youngwood Recreation. Jason, give us a little bit about your background and how did you get into Youngwood Recreation?
I have two children. My daughter Emma, she's 9 years old and she plays 8-under softball, and I've been an assistant coach down there for about 3 years now. And my son Chase, he's turning 6 next Monday, and I moved him up from T-ball this year to 8U. And over the last couple years, I got a chance to know quite a few guys down there. And nice women as well. And a friend of mine, Scott Harvey, introduced me to some of the board members at an opening, and he had me come down and meet a lot of the nice guys and girls down there, and we got a chance to go through some.
Well, it's a volunteer position, so you're spending, it's like a part-time job, right?
Yeah, it is.
Paul Robertson is also a board member at the Youngwood Recreation, and Paul, tell us a little bit about your background and how did you get involved with Youngwood Rec?
Well, I have 4 young daughters myself, 3 of which are playing softball through the Youngwood organization. I spent about the last 5 years coaching on multiple age groups, culminating and winning the 12U championship last year with my eldest daughter. So I've been involved with the program through the softball side, but as a kid growing up, I lived in Youngwood and I played all my baseball through Youngwood. So when there was an opportunity to jump in and help with the baseball side as well, I felt like it was something perfect for me to blend with.
Well, you have 4 kids. What are the ages of your kids?
My oldest daughter is 13.
Okay.
Followed by, her name is Layla, followed by Caroline, who's 8, and also playing softball this year. I'm coaching her 8U team currently this year. Amelia is 6 years old and plays T-ball. And then Grace, my youngest, will be 2 here shortly and a few years away from playing herself.
Well, Paul, talk a little bit about some of the other board members that are on the Youngwood Recreation board. What are they doing? What is some of their background, and what are you guys trying to do as a board for Youngwood Recreation?
We have a 9-member board, all volunteers. Most of which have children playing in the system, but we have a lot of people who are just so involved and want to give back to the community that they stayed on and continued with the program even after their children moved on. President Mark Podcole, Vice President Jason Fox have spent a lot of time helping us put together this project that we're here to talk about today. Mm-hmm. We have people who handle our finances. We have people who run the concession stand. Everyone takes on a part of the pie so that it comes together so that the community is able to have a nice facilities and a great place to come play some ball.
Well, Paul, you gave a great segue. So we're talking about today the Junior Homerun Derby, right? Paul, tell us a little bit about how you discovered the Home Run Derby, or maybe it was Jason that he was watching MLB Network and discovered the Home Run Derby.
Yeah, it was last November, December. I was watching MLB Network and was watching a documentary, Ken Burns, on baseball, and one of the commercials was for the Junior Home Run Derby. And I thought, wow, that's such a great idea. How cool would that be when I was a kid to have something like that happen? And I was just getting involved with the Youngwood Recreation Board at the time, and I proposed the idea. And before I knew it, Paul, he took it and ran with it and got everything rolling.
So, Paul, you kicked it off. You did the logistics. Jason obviously heard it on the Ken Burns program. Was that was just that baseball program that's like 13 innings long, right?
Yeah. It's about 9, 10. They're into extra innings, I believe now.
Yeah, right. They start with the beginning of baseball back in the 1850s or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll come to 2017. It was last winter, and you discovered the MLB network on the Home Run Derby, and you kicked this over to Paul. And Paul, how did you learn more about it, and how did you kick it off with Youngwood Recreation?
Well, we were having our Christmas meeting, and Jason came in and brought this idea to our attention. It sounded like something that we would have loved playing growing up. So Major League Baseball made it very easy to acquire the information to put together the program. All we had to do was do a little legwork and then set the tone for what we wanted to do, decide on where and when to hold the event. But they pretty much made it as easy as possible for us to be able to host this event and to share with our community.
Well, let's dive into a little bit more of the details of the event. So when will it be held?
It'll be held Saturday, May 5th. We're going to have a registration time at 9 a.m. And at 10 o'clock, we want to start the 12 under group. We're going to try to be as much accommodating as we can, so anybody who wants to show up the day of the event, we don't want to turn anyone away.
Okay.
And we'll be able to have some flexibility on how we're going to do things, whether it's a 2-3 minute time limit on your swings, or if we can get maybe a 20 pitch limit, 10 swings. Well, we have some flexibility there on how we're going to do it.
So the youth don't need to pre-register. They can show up. You would probably prefer that they
I would prefer that. Yeah.
You would prefer that they would pre-register.
That way we can nail down some of the ground rules. Yes.
You're listening to Westmoreland Community Connections on Classic Hits 107.1 WHJB. I'm your host, Chad Amond, president of the Westmoreland County Chamber of Commerce. Our guests today are Jason Anderson and Paul Robertson. Jason and Paul are both board members at Youngwood Recreation. We're talking about the Home Run Derby that is going to be held on May 5th for youth in our community. Guys, tell us a little bit. What is the age limits for the participants?
It's 14 under is the second group, and 12 under it'll be the first group. We have all the information online at youngwood.org.
Okay.
And if you go through our rec link, you'll be able to pull up our flyer. You'll be able to download a registration form, and they list the birth dates of the limits. It's basically 11 and 12-year-olds and 13 and 14-year-olds.
Okay. If you're a participant, do you have to bring a birth certificate that day?
Yes. The applications will be available at the field on the day of the event, as well as available online, like Jason had said. But a copy of your birth certificate will be required, especially to move on to the next stage of the competition if you were to win. We have to turn all that into Major League Baseball.
Okay. And if you want to, if a listener is out there and they want to jump online, they can visit youngwood.org, correct?
That's correct.
Youngwood.org or jrhrd.com and to learn more about the event. Let's get into some of the fun part of the Home Run Derby. What are going to be the fence lengths and all of that stuff? How are you gonna manage those things? Because if you got a kid that's 6. You said your son goes from t-ball. He's going up to the 8U. So that he's obviously a good baseball player, right?
He's pretty good for his age. I mean, he can hit the ball. We still got to work on a lot of fundamentals, of course. At 6, sure. But you like to think that your kid's a little special, and he's able to do more than he can. But,
right.
But you have to be realistic also.
Yeah,
but,
right. You're not saving your your time at Cooperstown just yet.
No,
just
not yet.
You're not
We got
making
a
a
ways to
reservation
go.
just yet, right? But even still, a 6-year-old versus a 14-year-old, that's going to be different with the with the fence length. So how are you guys going to manage that?
Well, each age group has their own differing fence length. The fence length for 12U will be 170 feet. It'll be 200 feet for the 14U bracket. They are reduced so that we can encourage the home runs. We want to see the kids pit them over the fence. That's the exciting and fun part about the event. So the reduced fence lines should hopefully promote home runs for us.
Right. So there's not any inside the park home runs, right?
No. I tried to get juice balls, but we weren't able to.
There you go,
Maybe
right?
a corked bat.
You corked bats, right? So tell us a little bit more about how the program is going to be facilitated that day. You said that there's going to be registration at 9 a.m. So anyone, any youth baseball player or softball player can come in. At what age? What age are you expecting?
We're hoping to just market for 11 and 12-year-olds. I believe the cutoff date is 11, so we won't have any 8, 9, 10-year-olds, unfortunately, for that group. And then 13 and 14 will be for 14U.
Okay, Paul, what is your perspective on the facilitation of the program?
Well, between all the volunteers of the program, everyone putting their time in, we think we have a great event scheduled. We should flow nicely. Jimmy's going to come in and spend some time with us and announce the competition for us. We're going to have food available at the concession stands. The Kona Ice truck is coming down to spend some time there. We'd like to have a nice community event where everyone's involved. Even when you're not batting, you're hanging out, you're watching everybody else take their swings, you're having a good time, enjoying the nice day at a baseball field.
Sounds good. When we get back, we're going to talk with Jimmy Santorella. Jimmy is going to be emceeing the Home Run Derby at the Youngwood Recreation MLB Home Run Derby on May the 5th. You're listening to Westmoreland Community Connections on Classic Hits 107.1 WHJB. We'll be right back after these messages.
This is Westmoreland Community Connections on Classic Hits 107.1 WHJB. If you have a suggestion for a topic, or if your nonprofit organization would like to be featured on this program, call us during regular business hours at 724-216-1200.
Westmoreland Community Connections is a presentation of the Westmoreland Drug and Alcohol Commission.
Hello and welcome back to Westmoreland Community Connections. I'm your host, President and CEO of the Westmoreland County Chamber of Commerce, Chad Amond. We are talking about baseball today, folks, and we have on the show Jason Anderson and Paul Robertson, who are board members at Youngwood Recreation. But we're gonna turn the mic over to Jimmy Santorella right now. Jimmy is a broadcaster for sports games. Jimmy, remind me how many games have you broadcast? It was over 1,000.
Yeah,
correct?
it's actually over 1,700 now.
1,700. Wow. Well, you are going to be the MC for the Youngwood Homerun Derby on May 5th. So tell us a little bit about what you expect to do with the Home Run Derby.
Well, first of all, I want to thank Jason and Paul for getting hold of us. He actually got a hold of Tony through email, and then Tony forwarded it to me they thought about maybe broadcasting it, which, that's not going to happen. But so I came up with the idea of why don't I just come down and, do what an announcer does, announce what's going on. And that's basically what I'm going to do. And I'm just so honored to do this and looking forward to it. I mean, me in baseball, it's just like,
yeah.
Ooh.
Are you going to do like back?
I hope not. I promise I won't do that. But what I'm going to do, I am going to be calling the home runs. Not all, not a lot, because you don't want to get overly,
right.
too much of it. But I'm going to be doing some calling, and I got some things planned. And we also have some talent competitions going on with WHJB sponsoring the event. What we're going to do is on the outside of the center field fence, positioned, we're going to have a table set up with a WHJB sign. Now, if any of the kids hit that sign on a fly. Now, it's got to hit the sign, not the table.
Oh, right.
You're going to win a pair of pirate tickets.
And how far is that sign out?
Well, it's going
to be in Youngwood. Is it that sign going to be a newsstand?
We're going to try.
You know?
I want to try to give these tickets away. So
Okay,
what we're going to
good.
do is the fences, we'll say for the smaller guys, are 170 feet. It'll probably be about 180 feet out.
Yeah,
that's
nice.
it. And positioned to the right of center field a little bit. If you hit that, you're going to get some pirate tickets. The winners of the competition, the 2 winners of the age groups, we're also going to give a pair of pirate tickets away. And also another competition is we are going to have, out of the 20 balls pitched, one of them will have WHJB written on it. Now, if you hit a home run with that ball, it's like Major League. You win a house.
nice.
Well, we're not giving a house away. We actually have some gift certificates from Zala's Cafe in Hermione and also the Colonial Grill in Irwin.
Nice. So you're going to MC this entire event over the course of May 5th.
Yeah, however long it takes.
Yeah,
I'll be
right,
there.
Right. So obviously, we've been living in the rain weather. In this spring, I don't know if we can call it even spring, but is there a makeup date if it's raining, or is there a backup plan, or are we just going to tough it out?
Our backup plan is to have it the next day, Sunday, May 6th.
Okay.
And all the times would be the same. Register at 9, start at 10 for 12U, and we would like to wrap 12U up and start 14U at 2 p.m. So it'll be the same May 5th. If it rains, May 6th, everything will apply.
I bring that up because it's not going to happen, right? Because if you talk about it, it's not going to happen. You're not going to get rain. It's going to be a nice sunny day, right?
Yeah, it's Cinco de Mayo. It's
Yeah.
gods are in our favor for a nice rainy day,
Well, you guys,
sunny day. Excuse me.
Well, you guys, obviously, you have to engage a lot of volunteers. So I'll give you a second to recognize the volunteers that have stepped up to help with this program, and I want to talk about some of the, not just the home run hitting, but let's talk about some of the other programs that are going to happen that day.
There has been a lot of effort from our board to make this project happen. Our president, Mark Podkul, has done a lot to pull everything together, as well as our vice president and baseball coordinator, Jason Fox. We've had assistance from Christy Soyson, Scott Harvey, Alex Belgiovanni, Sue and Rita have also spent a lot of time involved in this project. It took a lot. It took a village to put it all together. We are volunteers. We have jobs and lives, but we want to see our community have things to be involved in and have a good time. We have a lot of ties to our community through our local sponsors. We participate in the Memorial Day Parade every year as a organization. We have a small, tight-knit community, and we like to keep it like that. So
Right. Well, I understand one of the things that's going to be there is Kona Ice. Tell the listeners a little bit about Kona Ice. They're Kona Ice is members of the chamber, and they've been in our parking lot distributing their goods. But tell the listeners a little bit about Kona Ice.
Kona Ice of Westmoreland, they've been very nice. When we sent out an email to them about coming down to sponsor the event,
Yeah.
within a few minutes I got a reply. They were really nice. Randy and Nancy, they said anything that you need, we'll come down. Just let us know where to park. They give a kickback to Youngwood Recreation to help us out with our programs. We're also going to have a 50-50 raffle for Animal Friends of Westmoreland County. So our proceeds will be donated to them, and they are also in Youngwood. So it's a nice little kickback for them.
Well, you're going to have to make sure that you mention that to Laura Kay here on WHJB,
Oh, yeah,
because
she's
that's
a
one of
big-
her passions,
yeah.
and she'll make sure that she promotes that for you as well. What are you expecting? Do you have any expectations of what you're going to raise for the from the 50-50?
Not yet. It's all going to depend on turnout. Hopefully everyone will participate when they come down, buy a few tickets, spend a few dollars at the concession stand, buy some Kona Ice, and have a good day. Hopefully it's nice and hot, about 85 degrees, so that way everybody wants a slushie.
Yeah, right. Well, Paul, let's talk a little bit about some of the other programs. I mean, you guys sit on the board for the Youngwood Recreation Department, and so you obviously we're focusing today on the Home Run Derby. Let's talk about and promote since we're on the air today. Let's talk about a little bit of the other programs that the Youngwood Recreation Department does.
We have over 200 kids involved in our program. We offer t-ball at a very young age, as well as girls softball and our baseball program. As a community, we offer some very nice, well-groomed fields. We have about 4 fields, very well groomed and taken care of. We have nice uniforms every year that the kids come up and they get to wear our Youngwood colors, which is a throwback to the old Youngwood High School. We all wear the maroon, which is a throwback to our old Youngwood Railroaders from a long, long time ago. The organization was established in 1950 and has been providing kids of our community somewhere to go and play in the summer and be involved in sports for a long time now. So it's something that we want to continue for generations beyond us. That was one of the reasons I got involved, was I wanted to hand over as good a program as that I received and played through growing up, and I think we've had an opportunity to do so. We offer clinics sometimes for pitching, sometimes for fielding, bring the kids up and try to help improve their skills and fundamentals, as well as we offer a fall ball program where the kids can come and play again in the fall after the season and continue to develop.
So, Jason, for the listeners that are out there, how would somebody else become? They're listening to today's show, and they say, "Hey, I want to be a part of Youngwood Rec." How do they get involved?
If they have children 18 and under, we have various age groups that they could participate in, whether it be softball or baseball. So if they could come down, register their kids, be a part of the program. We're always looking for great men and women to come down and be coaches, assistant coaches. Everybody down there is very welcoming. I'm sure you could be a part of your kids' team, whether it's a base coach, whether it's just helping out with the field, anything, even being somebody that keeps score. Anybody that has a kid 18 and under that enjoys baseball or softball, come on down.
All right. Well, if you're listening and you have a child under 14, correct, right, under 14, and they want to hit some home runs on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, did we talk about where the event is going to be held and the address? I mean, I think that's probably the who, what, when, where, and why. We missed the where, but it's going to be held obviously in Youngwood. Paul?
Yes, our Youngwood ball field complex, we have 4 fields, but we're trying to use our main field to do the tournament. The address to the field is actually 786 Wagner Road, Youngwood, Pennsylvania, 15697 for GPS purposes. But anyone that's familiar with our Youngwood ball complex, same place that we've played for years, come on down, sign up, and come hit some home runs.
And you can jump on youngwood.org or JRHRD, that's JRHRD.com to learn more. Guys, let's shift from kid baseball. I think, Jason, you were just out in Philadelphia to see the Pirates. Yes. This show is going to air probably this next Sunday, so okay. We're taping it on Monday the 23rd. The Pirates have just came off of a 4-game sweep. That they got swept. So tell us a little bit about going down to Philly and some of the places that you've visited for baseball.
Unfortunately, we couldn't bring them any luck this weekend, although the Penguins did take care of the Flyers yesterday, right. So at least we had that going for us. But everybody there was very friendly. You hear some stories about the people of Philadelphia not being so friendly to out-of-towners, but everybody there was very kind and nice, and it's something that we always try to do. My family and I go to a different Major League Baseball park every year. Last year we got to see DC Nationals Park, and the year before the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. But Philadelphia was nice. I got to take my son on his first road trip, and we toured Independence Hall. And to be able to sit in there, in the same place, where they signed the Declaration of Independence, you just kind of get goosebumps from that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Paul, you have 4 daughters in the softball, but do you go out around and make sure that you're watching the Pirates or anything like that?
Yes, we're avid Pirates fans. We attend games when we can and like to watch them on TV. It's great to use as a coaching tool, when you're sitting there watching the game with your kids and they can ask you questions. A lot of situational stuff is hard to teach, so as you're watching games, you get to go over different situations and talk about it. So we enjoy watching our Pirates.
Well, baseball and softball is a rich history with our country, and I appreciate the work that you guys are doing. Do you want to have any last minute mentions and to wrap things up for Westmoreland Community Connections?
The one thing we'd like to mention is the winners of the 12 under and 14 under age groups for the Home Run Derby. They can move on to regionals at a destination to be determined. And then if they win in the regionals, they move on to Nationals Park for the All-Star game where they can participate there. And this is all free to sign up. If you win, you go on to regionals. Would even like to try getting you involved in our Youngwood parade down in Youngwood for Memorial Day. We have all the kids from softball and baseball. They get in there and carry the American flag down through Youngwood, and maybe we can even bring you in there and be our home run kings for the day.
Yeah, very good. Jason Anderson and Paul Robertson, board members at Youngwood Recreation. Jimmy Santorella, WHJB broadcaster with 1,700 different sporting events. He's going to MC the event on May the 5th at starting at 9 o'clock. Registration is going to start at 9 o'clock at Youngwood baseball fields. If you want to learn more, jump on to youngwood.org or jrhrd.com. You've been listening to Westmoreland Community Connections on Classic Hits 107.1 WHJB. Join us next week, same time, same place, for another edition of Westmoreland Community Connections. Thanks for listening, everyone.
This has been Westmoreland Community Connections, a look at issues and happenings in and around Westmoreland County. Join us again next week on Classic Hits 107.1 WHJB.
Westmoreland Community Connections is a presentation of the Westmoreland Drug and Alcohol Commission.